Hello and welcome to Everyday Linux User. In today's video I'm going to be looking at web apps and can software as a service replace traditional desktop apps in a meaningful way so that the distro wars and the operating system wars that we have about Linux can't run this application, Windows can only run this application, Apple can only run this application, that all goes away. And I see year on year more and more services pop up online, and they could in the future, and I'm not talking a long distance future, I'm talking about the near future, I think they could take over from the traditional desktop apps. So what I've done today is, I'm not going to bore you and try and show you every single site I've been to, but I'm going to show you what I've done in Linux Mint. And the point of this is to show you that you can find all your traditional apps online nowadays. Now the apps that I'm showing you doesn't mean that you have to use those ones, it's just an example, because you might look at the app and go, well, that's rubbish, that's not what I'm looking for. But there are so many examples of these things that traditional desktop apps aren't necessarily needed anymore. Maybe all you need is a desktop and a good web browser. And the great thing about Linux Mint is you have got under Internet this web apps tool, and that's what I've used in this case. You can quite easily use a browser and bookmarks, but I'll show you what I've done with this web apps and all the different application types I've created. So the first thing I'm going to look at is a PDF viewer, and you can see I'm using Adobe's Acrobat Home, and it's an online service. You can upgrade to a paid for service, but I'm using the free service here, and all I've done is uploaded a PDF, and it's as simple as clicking upload files and then finding the file you want to upload, and then you can view it. And here we have, I started writing a PDF guide of how to go from Windows to Ubuntu. I'm a long way from finished on that, and I don't think 2024 is going to be the year that I finish it. But you can see I've got a PDF viewer and it shows images and things like that. So you don't need to use a desktop PDF viewer, you can use the cloud for PDF viewing, and it's Adobe, so it's a trusted, reputable source. It's not something you need to be overly worried about. So that's PDF viewing. So the next thing I'm going to look at is games. So I'm not going to start off with Amazon Luna, I'm going to start off with GeForce Now. GeForce Now is a cloud gaming service. Now if you have a low spec desktop PC or laptop and you haven't got a great GPU in your machine, then by using cloud gaming you can pay a subscription service to something like GeForce Now, and then you can play all the online games that you would normally play via like your Xbox and stuff. Now you will need a internet connection to be able to run this, but you can see here that I've got Fortnite, and if you use the free service you have to, one, watch some ads, and two, wait for the next game ahead of you. If you pay for it, then obviously the different tiers allow you to play the games in different levels, like so you have more powerful boxes the more you pay, essentially. But you can play for free, so if you are short of a bit of cash, then as long as you're willing to wait to join the service, then that is available to you. And you can see I've got 14 people ahead of me in the queue. Now it's gone down to 11. That'll take about 15 minutes to get there. GeForce Now isn't the only online gaming service. If you've got an Amazon Prime account, then you can go to Amazon Luna, and because you've already subscribed via Amazon Prime, you can play certain games for free, and one of those is Fortnite, so I can play Fortnite. Now I would say this, that on Linux the gameplay isn't as good as it is with GeForce Now. I have found the service to be a little bit more problematic. Now I haven't got a games controller set up, but you can see Fortnite is loading in the background, and we'll just leave it for there because this isn't a gaming video per se. Other sort of games that you can play, you don't just have to play Fortnite, there are a whole host of games available. As you can see here, all of these are available, and some of them cost money, some of them you can do for free, so like Lego Fortnite, Rocket Racing, things like that, The Witcher, Tomb Raider. you can play all of those in the cloud. So the thing about that is you do need a decent internet connection. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is watching TV. Now, in the UK, I'm sure in other countries you have streaming services as well, but in the UK, the main channels that you'd get are BBC, ITV, Channel 4 and Channel 5. They're the main ones, and then of course we have Netflix and Amazon Prime and Disney and the same things that are available worldwide. But so for the iPlayer, you can just click on this and you're able to watch TV. Now, the one thing I would say about it is you do need a TV license to watch things like BBC iPlayer. Let's do a few more of those. So we can do Channel 4, Channel 5. Now we've got STV. And of course there's Netflix and Amazon as well, but for some reason I didn't bother creating a app for that. So other things you might need, so calculator. Now there's loads of online calculators, but you know, I just picked one just to prove the point. And there we go, I can start typing in there, and you can switch between the different type of calculators as well on this app, but it shows a calculator. Now for images, we've got you can obviously go for an image viewer. I've got this linked to a particular page in my Google Photos account. It's pictures of Scotland. But obviously you can just link it to your Google Photos account. If you want to edit photos, we've got Canva for photo editing. We've also got Photopea, which is a lot like, so Photopea is a lot like an online version of Photoshop. So if I create a new project, now, I've never actually used this, but if you want to use something like this, then I recommend looking at Explaining Computers, because that Christopher has done a lot of guides on Photopea, and they're actually very good. I'm artistically challenged, but you can see you can do YouTube profiles, YouTube thumbnails, YouTube covers, all these sort of things. You can obviously create your own photos and manipulate your own images. But Photopea is a good resource for that sort of thing. But there are other online photo editors that you can use. There's also Canva. Now Canva is a tool I have used quite a bit for creating the YouTube thumbnails. So you can see some of the ones I've created over the past few months. So this is a really good tool. It is free to use, but there are obviously paid tier levels that you can use as well. And I just want to re-emphasize the point that I'm not suggesting that you use the same services I'm using. What I'm saying is that there's now a really good online set of online resources that there's no need to have this sort of like distro war type thing going on, or this operating system war about, well, this operating system runs this piece of software, this piece operating system runs this piece of software. There's enough good web apps out there now for, I'd say, 80% of the things you want to do. They're catered for. And if you're particularly keen on a piece of software and it's software as a service, then you probably will pay for the tiered level. You probably will pay for the subscription, because if you really like that software, then you're more likely to pay for it, especially if they've got features that you really need. In the same way that if you're using Windows and you're using Photoshop, presumably you've paid for that piece of software. Now for video editing, there's Capcut. Again, this is a free tool for creating videos, and you'll see lots of YouTubers use this. Personally, I've never really used it. People say it's easier to use than most other things, but I've not found that. I think it's really good for doing shorts and TikToks and things like that, but I haven't used it myself thus far. It's something that I will try and experiment with in the next month or two, I think. And then my personal choice, if I had to use an online video editor, would be Clipchamp. I have used this one in the past, and you can use it for video editing, and it's a lot like things like Caden Live and stuff like that. Now for some reason it's not finding my resources, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. But essentially you drag your resources onto the window here, and then you can cut and add effects and things like that. So Clipchamp is a decent enough video editor as well. For documents and things like that, well, obviously for mail programs you can use something like Gmail or Outlook or whichever mail program you choose. How many of us really use dedicated software for emails anymore? I'm not sure I do. I don't know if you do, but if you're using Linux you could use something like Thunderbird or Evolution. But if you want to use something online, then the native Gmail tool is good. Now when it comes to Office suites, on Linux you've got LibreOffice, but in the cloud there's obviously Google Docs, and I mean, it caters for most things that people want to use. So you can create a document like a word processor type document. You can create spreadsheets, you can create slides such as PowerPoint type situation, you can create forms, and there's lots of different templates available. If it's good enough for Google, it's good enough for me. If you just want to take notes, there is an online note-taking app, and that's Google Keep, and you can just add a note and leave it there. And the great thing about this is, of course, it's all in the cloud, so it will go from device to device. So you can have it on your phone, on your computer, in different places. And that's another great thing about cloud software as a service, is that it's not now stuck to your desktop. It's on your desktop, it's on your phone, it's on your tablets. It moves with you from device to device. So it is another reason to use cloud services. Now for music, we have Spotify. You could use Amazon Music. There are other audio services out there. There's free ones. YouTube, for instance, you can play music using that. And talking about YouTube, you can obviously use YouTube like this. Or you can have a dedicated one for everyday Linux user. If you like this video and you haven't subscribed yet, you can do that. You can subscribe here. You can also join as a member. You don't really get anything for the membership, but it helps support the channel. But you can see you've got all these playlists, you've got all these videos, shorts, multiple playlists across the way. And we're into the hundreds of videos now, not just the dozens. For online chat, there is Matrix that came with Linux Mint, that one. And there's zip file extractor. Now the one I've chosen, it's an online tool. I'm not sure how reputable it is, but you can upload a zip file and unzip it. It's up to you whether you use that one or you find a better service than that. And there's a screenshot tool as well, so I can click here. If I click this capture button, it says window or screen, we'll say entire screen, and you can see it's going to do that. And then I click allow, and it says 10 seconds. So if I just want the screenshot, I can go like this, go like this, and then I just wait. And you can see it's taking a screenshot of my computer. Again, I don't know if this is the best one to use or not, but it works. You can see it does work. So if you want a screenshot tool, there is a cloud version of that. Now there's some software obviously that you will find difficult to get online. For instance, if you want a tool for writing a USB drive out, you're going to struggle to find that because it relies on your hardware as well. But that's what I wanted to cover today. I just wanted to show that there's some great online services out there, and your choice of operating system may become less and less important as we go along. But let me know what you think. Leave a comment in the comment section and I'll try and respond. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next time on Everyday Linux User.